All right, here we are. You asked for it, you got it. You said stick with the book, so we're going to stick with the book. Today I'm going to work on 7.7. That's inequalities with multiplication and division. And so let's get started. This is a pretty easy one. If you could do the addition, subtraction, remember in fractions, we had adding and subtracting fractions is a little more difficult. I think this is about the same, but for me, for whatever reason, it seems to go a little quicker. So let's just jump in. Name the property that you should use to solve the inequality. Well, did you write the problem? I hope you're writing the problems too, because I think that's a very good habit for you to get into. So the equality, do I need to solve it? And use to solve the inequality that you should use. So in this one, I've got 3 times x, so I'm going to use the division property. And I wouldn't write, and you can. Yeah, because it's 3 times x, I'm going to divide. So number 4, it's that easy. X divided by 2 is greater than 36. What do I need to do? I got x divided by 2, so I'm going to use multiplication and multiply the same side. Property of inequalities. Number 6. Wait, we're really going, huh? Number 6, and these ones I think you're going to find are fun. M divided by 8 is greater than 4. So just like I talked about here, so I have m divided by 8. I'm just going to multiply both sides, and they will stay equal. That means m is greater than 8 times 4 is 32. I hope it's okay. I'm not writing all this, but I'm taking a little shortcut, and I encourage you to do the same thing. T, even though I know some teachers get really mad at that. I'm a little lazy, maybe. So what do I need to do? T divided by 3, so it's going to be t times 3 is just t is greater than or equal to 3 times 15 is 45. Number 10, it's going to get hard to see. So that'll work. 12x is less than 96. So I have to divide both sides by 12. We've got 12 times x, so I'm going to go 12 times x divided by 12 is just x is less than, what's 96 divided by x? Well, I know there's a 6 in there, so that's going to be 10 times, well, it's going to be 8, because 8 times 10 is 80, 8 times 12 is 16 more. So it's 8. Well, let me trim on camera here. 8, why they put that times in there? I guess it still works, we can still understand. 8 times w is less than or equal to 72. So I got 8 times w. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8. That one's going to give me just w left is less than or equal to 72 divided by 8, which I know, and maybe you know is 9. Number 14. Finally, some fractions. 3/4 times b is greater than 15. Well, what am I supposed to do here? Finally, some math problems. I need to divide. I got 3/4 times b, so I'm going to divide. I'm going to b is greater than 15 divided by 3/4. Well, I got a little lazy. Now I got to do a little work. B is greater than 15 over 1 times the reciprocal of the divisor. Remember that? 4 thirds. I could multiply this out. I know that's 60 and I know that's 3. I could do 60 divided, but since we talked about that cross canceling, I see that there's a number. 3 goes into 3, 1, and 3 goes into 15 5 times. So I just remember we talked about cross canceling just being pre-dividing. I'm going to divide before I multiply instead of waiting. And so 5 times 4 equals 20. And 1 times 1, of course, is 1. So 20 over 1 is 20. So B is greater than, maybe I'll write it over here just to be clear to my math teacher. B is greater than 20. Finally, a decent one, something worthy of our talent. 16 3s is greater than or less than 36. So I'm going to use the division property, divide both sides by 3. That's going to give me s is greater than or equal to 36 divided by 3 is 12. Number 18. 4 times t is greater than 72. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So 4 times t divided by 4 is just t. And 74 divided by t is, let's see, well I know 80 divided by 4 is 20. So this is going to be 2 less than that. It's going to be 2 4s less than that, so it's going to be 18. Number 20. All right, just checking my answers. I already did this earlier. 12m is less than 132. So I'm going to divide, obviously, both sides by 12. So that just leaves this m. And what's 132 divided by 12? Well, I know 12 times 10 is 120. So 12 times 11 is going to be 12 more than 120. So it's going to be 11. Number 22. Describe and correct the error in solving the inequality. Well, you know how I like to do these. I'm not even going to look at the mistake they made. I'm just going to do it the right way first, and then I'll compare the way I know how to do it to what they did, even though I already know they made a mistake here. So I'm not going to worry. X divided by 6 is less than or equal to 30, so I'm going to multiply both times by 6. So I've got x divided by 6 times 6 is just x is less than or equal to, and 30 times 6 is 180. Now let's see what they did. They said they multiplied by 6 just like we said, so this would just be x. Oh, and then they divided. So over here in my answer, right, they divided 30 by 6 instead of multiplying. Yeah, that's a good mistake. You got to do the same thing on both sides. So that's their mistake. I'm glad we could help them. 22, oops, sorry, 24. Students at a playground are divided. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Just kidding. Students at a playground are divided into 5 equal groups. Okay, not so bad. Ooh, it depends on if the groups are whole kids. That could still, parents get mad at that kind of stuff. It's at least 6 students in each group, at least. So that's really important. So write and solve an inequality to represent the number of students at the playground. So I'm going to say asterisk students divided by, right into 5, is going to be greater than 6, right? Because 6 is at least. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Students is greater than or equal to times 5 times 5, 30 students. Okay, that was not too bad. 26. I don't know how you can see this. Can you see that? Write a word sentence as an inequality. No, you can't see my book. As an inequality, then solve the inequality. A number t, that wasn't so bad, divided by 32 is at most 4 25/100. At most, that means it's going to be less than or equal to. Not going to be greater, it's at most. So then all I got to do is multiply both sides by 32. So that gives me t is less than or equal to. Can you see my work here? I'm going to change my camera, sorry. Again, C6. Just go over in the margin here and say 4 25/100 times 32. And equals 8. Smiley face. Make the tens. 3 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. Times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 4 is 12. 0 plus 0, 5 plus 5 is 10. 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 7 is 16. 3 and 1. Don't forget 1, 2 places to the right of the decimal. So 1, 2 places to the right of the decimal. So t is less than or greater than 136. That was exciting, huh? Number 28. We are on 7.7, number 28. Well, this one you can't do until I put in the Google form that you can't do, but I'm going to show you anyway because I think maybe these are the most fun problems that we've had on here. So, like that. Graph the numbers that are solutions to both inequalities. Well, x plus 7 is greater than 9, and 8x is less than or equal to 64. So I've got to solve both these inequalities and figure out which numbers look the same or would fit for both solutions. So this one I've got plus 7, so I'm going to subtract x plus 7 minus 7 is just x is greater than 9 minus 7 is 2. And 8 times x, so I'm going to is less than or equal to 64, so I'm going to divide both sides by 8. So I've got x less than or equal to 8, because 64 divided by 8 is 8. So now x has to be greater than 2. Let me make my graph. It's greater than 2, so I've got to do the circle here. It's greater than 2, and it's equal to or less than 8. So it's going to be everything. And you're not including the 2, but including the 8. Yeah, I wish we had more of those. Those are good ones. Number 30. A thrill ride at an amusement park holds a maximum of 12 people per ride. So I'm just going to write that down. So the maximum, so it's got to be less than or equal to 12. Maximum is okay. That's not part of the problem. I just wanted to make sure I had that. Write and solve an inequality. Find the least number of rides needed for 15,000 people. So like all at once, they're not going to stand in line. Have you never been to Disneyland? Oh my gosh. So that sounds like a division problem, huh? I got to figure out, I got 15,000 people. And I got to figure out if it's 12 on each, how many rides I need. So 12, 15,000 divided by 12. I'm going to use a standard algorithm, even though I already sort of see the answer. I would do this to check my work. And I would say, does 12 go into 1? No. Does 12 go into 15? Yeah, it does. You can use your partial products. I'm just using standard algorithm. 1, and that's 12. Subtract, find the difference. 3, and bring down that 0. So 30 divided by 12 is 2, and that's going to give you 24. Subtract it from the difference, 6. 60 divided by 12, I know, is 5. 5 times 12, as a matter of fact, is 60. And so this is 0, but I still have another 0 here. Don't forget that. 3,000. So 0 divided by 12 is 0. So you would need 1,250 rides. Second question. Number of rides. Okay. So 1,250 rides. B. Do you think it is possible for 15,000 people to ride a thrill ride in one day? Explain. Well, this is going to be an opinion, but do you think that there can be this many at a time, 1,000 for a whole day? It depends on if it takes just a few minutes, but that's a big chunk that they can take at a time, right? So they only have to do that 12 times. So I think for sure. Have you ever been to Disney? It depends on how long the rides are. If you stand in line, could you do 12 rides in a day? I have, especially to get there early and to stay there late. Number 32. I'm not going to write a big explanation because I know you weren't on either. Explain how you know that 7x is less than 7x has no solution. And the answer is, of course, a number has to equal itself. So I know there's no number that x could be to make that right. To make 7x less than or greater than another thing. That both sides must be equal. All right, number 34. This is the hardest problem on this. In fact, I still don't love the way I did it. Maybe if you have a better way, you can tell me. Sorry. You're selling items from a catalog for a school fundraiser. Write and solve 2 inequalities to find the range of sales that you will earn between $40 and $50. Maybe I'm doing this wrong, so let me know if you figure this out. I think it's this way. So earn $5 for every $50 in sales. So I think it's going to be 50 divided by 5 times the number of sales. And it's got to be is greater than 40, or just like we did up here when we had the and it's got to be 50 divided by 5 times s is less than 50. So these are pretty easy. I see 50 divided by 5 is 10. 10s is less than 40. And over here, 10s is greater than 50. There's less than 50, sorry. So that side I'm going to divide both sides by 10. S greater than 4. And S is less than 5. So this is not a satisfactory answer for me, so I'm a little confused. But if I were going to graph it, it's got to be between 4 and 5 sales. So let me know if you figured that one out. Okay, let A is greater than B, I'm going to write this down because that's super important here. A is always greater than B, and X is always greater than Y. Okay. Now, 36. Tell whether the statement is always true. And I'm not going to explain my reasoning other than in word. A minus X is always greater than B minus Y. Well, it's kind of hard when I don't know what they are, so I'm going to just substitute. Right now I'm going to check right away, and maybe it won't always be true, but it'll give me a place to start. Let's just say that A is 2 and B is 1, because why not? Because 2 is greater than 1. We'll do the same thing with X and Y. We'll just substitute 2 is greater than 1. So that gives me 2 minus 2, A minus X, is greater than 1 minus 1. Well, already I know that's not true, and so here's my reasoning. I'm going to say, no, it's not true. Just because that proves it's not true. It's not only not always true, I'm not sure it's, well, it's never going to be true necessarily. It just depends on what the numbers are. Number 38. Uh-oh, can you see this? Number 38. No, I can't see. There it is. There you are. Look at my finger. 38. A divided by X is greater than Y divided by B. So let's just do the same thing. Is 2 divided by 2 greater than 1 divided by 1? And the answer is no, for the same reason. Right? So this proves it. This is 1 is not greater than 1. So there's proof. All right. Let's get to the super easy, all done here. We were 22 minutes in. What is it? Classify the quadrilateral. Well, let's see. It's got 2 parallel sides and 2 non-parallel sides. It's a quadrilateral, so it's a trapezoid. Yeah. Trapezoid. 42, the last one. On a normal day, 12 airplanes at an airport. 12 airplanes arrive at an airport every 15 minutes. Which rate does not apply? So, let's see if I can help you see that. Does not apply. So I've got 12 arrivals per, remember, divided by per 15. So does it equal 24? Look, I just doubled this 24 and I doubled that. So if I double both sides, got the multiplication property, it worked. 4 airplanes every 5 minutes. Divided by 3, get 4. Divided by 3 to get 5. 12 airplanes divided by 2. Divided by 3. So I think C is my answer. Let's find out here. 48 multiplied by 4. Each hour, that's 60 minutes. 15 times 4 is 60. So that's the answer there. So the answer is C, 6 airplanes. It's not equal. It's divided by. Okay, well, that took a little more than 24 minutes. I hope you enjoy it right now. I'm going to give you the next step, which is to check on the people who are just skimping and writing weird numbers. So stay tuned for your very first exit ticket. I think you're going to like it.